It's a huge milestone to get the £3 million paid, and I think it's a monumental time for the foundation. When the foundation started off, and obviously the early contributions were going towards operating costs at the football club, the intention at that point was we'd move immediately from that into repaying Bidco. Clearly we went to the supporters with the idea of monies going towards the stand. Given the 98% voted in favour of making that contribution to the main stand, that was a substantial change to the plan at that point, but we always envisaged we'd get to this point if the £3 million would be paid. We now revert to paying Bidco, but to actually see it come round, right on time when we expected it to happen, to see the building round about us now up and running, it's incredible when you think the progress that's been made.
They've been incredible, they've been amazing. As you probably remember, when we set out, initially there was 2 years, please help us, from a working capital point of view, please help us get the club back onto an even keel. As you know, I then went out and said, can you help us a bit more? Let's try and build a new stand. They were overwhelming in their willingness to do that, and they've absolutely come through with it. So yeah, it's a big landmark. They've helped stabilise us for the first couple of years, they've helped us achieve this in the next couple of years, and now we're back on track to head for supporter ownership. So they've been amazing. I think when we all set out on this 4 years ago, I should say, we had an outline business plan that said it's probably going to take us 2 years to get into the Premiership. It didn't, and that was great. I thought at the end of my tenure I'd be saying, right, okay, here are some plans for building a new stand. We're going to need one. Instead, we've actually built it. So, no, we've achieved so much more, and we could only have done it with the support of all of our Hearts fans.
Yeah, I mean, we hear a lot from members on social media under the hashtag Pledge for Life. So it's clear there's an appetite beyond that point of changing ownership. I mean, you're right, at one level that is really for the club, a business as usual day, for the foundation an enormous moment to become the majority shareholder, to be able to protect the supporters' interests forevermore, hopefully. But you're right, we're getting to the point where we say, well, all that hard work, the point where we've raised, and it'll be incredible to think, almost £10 million at that point. So from start to finish, we'll be just short of £10 million having been raised by the supporters. In many ways, that just puts us into the position of being the majority shareholder. At that point, I think we stand back and say, right, if we keep the Pledge for Life going, if the supporters remain with us in that, we can only really continue to build out the fabric, the foundations of the football club, and send it from strength to strength. I mean, Anne talks about it as one of the most exciting times, and building for the long term, that to me rings true, because it is an incredibly exciting time as we move towards that now, and we can see it happening. It will come around really quickly, and then we're looking at saying, well, once the stand's paid for, once Bidco's paid for, everything that's coming into the football club has been channeled one way at that point.